people have not only changed, they have also adapted and they have also thrived. Now, for us to be successful in the world of AI, I don't think there is anything much different that you need to do. All you need to do is to be aware of what's happening. Like, recently I came to know that my great grandfather was an accruer of ships, meaning he used to kind of put a value to the cargo in the ships. And then they used to use something called accrual tables. I don't know if I'm getting this pronunciation wrong, but there's, believe me or not, there is actually a science which does that. So if you look at it right now, at that point in time, for you to add, to take insurance, you needed somebody who knew statistics to tell you how much your cargo is worth or how much is your life worth. Compared to today, it is just like a click of a button. You enter some data and the data is out. What I'm trying to get to is that the end result or the outcome isn't changing, but what is changing is how you arrive at it. Now, what used to take 10 or 12 people to do it, now it happens faster. So maybe the earlier process would take around 2 days, but now you just do it in 1 day. So at the end of it, what I'm trying to get to is, you need to be open to change. You need to look at technology as an ally who is going to help you put out your best work, and then be open to what's happening. So one of the things that you also need to be very mindful is, what is the organization's outcome? If you tie all your work to what the organization does, you are most likely in a position to succeed. And finally, my last point would be, most of the times, people operate in silos. You don't want to know what the other team is doing. For example, a sales guy may say, what I'm going to do, learning about what say, the customer success does. Or the customer success would say, a sales guy might say, I'm not going to learn technology because it does not matter to me. But if you have to stay relevant in this era, it is important that you are aware of every facet of the business. So if you keep yourself open to it, open to the learnings, and open to adopting technology in your line of work, chances are that you will not only succeed, you will thrive.
Okay, thank you, Sagar. So Rohit, you know about me, I've been in HR, recruitment. Do you think I will have my job in the next 3 years? I know this question is impromptu, but I just wanted your view based on what Sagar said. Do you think I will have my job in the next 3 years?
Exactly. So that exactly depends on how relevant you are keeping yourself. That takes you back to your... so I would say that dilemma in your career arrives from the lack of clarity in your goals, right? So if you don't have a goal, whether a near future goal or a long-term goal, you will probably be living in a dilemma. A dilemma means you don't know whether you will have a job or not. So depending.
So what challenges and barriers you think as an individual in this AI and automation world, what challenges and barriers you think I will have for myself, so that I'm limiting myself that, and I'm getting more concerned or worried about my future? What do you think are the challenges and barriers?
Sure. So I think that in today's time, the way industry is changing, we are more trying to become relevant. When we say relevant, means we are supposed to be relevant to the domain we are working with. So software engineer is fine, but software engineer, if he's not aware of finance, if he's working in the finance industry or if he in the pharma industry, so relevance in today's time is not just your tech knowledge, but also relevance to your domain which you are working upon, which I also very much advise to the universities and educational systems that they should definitely imbibe this mixed approach of educating them in a different way going forward. And the other thing that I want to say here, that if I take you back to your school days, I'm not sure about everyone, but myself, I required to have extra classes and extra tuitions. My father had to pay for that, right?
Okay.
And I was not really a great student. I failed in 7th standard as well. So those extra classes, and I will also give you a category. Most of the students in those days who had extra classes were majorly for either mathematics or English or chemistry
Right.
or physics, but
Right.
not for English, not for Hindi, not for Sanskrit, and not for general knowledge and not for drawing.
Right.
There must be few kids, right? So you would agree that in those days, these 4 subjects were relevant. And if I don't know what is the knowledge in these subjects, I will probably have a fear of failing. So I'll go to extra tuitions, right? Similarly, if you see from 2015, we have edtechs coming in. We have institutions coming in. We are who are actually training freshers as well as seasoned people. You would see IIMs and ISBs coming with 5 weeks program, 20 weeks program.
Right.
These are all new age extra tuition, extra classes, right? So not for the certification, but for the sake of learning, if you know what is relevant for you in the coming 3 years, either you are from HR or tech or non-tech, whatsoever, you become serious about the learning, not certifications again. Don't go by the ISBs and IIMs brands as
Right,
such.
right.
Go be serious about the learning, have those learnings, and find a mentor in your organization or outside your organization, and then make your path accordingly.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Rohit. So that reminds me, we have from Oxon University, we have the Dean, Dr. Kiran. I would like to ask some questions to Kiran. Maybe Elton also wants to add some more points. But before I come to Kiran and Elton, how many of you are from HR or recruitment background? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, great. Do you think you will have your jobs after 3 years from now? How many of you are confident? Wow, amazing. Okay,
Just
great.
2 lines.
So I wanted to
on-
check the audience pulse. Good to see they're still awake and active. Great. So Elton, you would like to add
Yeah.
before I ask? I have a
Yeah,
very
I
specific
just
question to
have
the
2
university.
lines for what you asked, actually. The question that you asked, was, will I have my job? Will they have their job? And the thing is, I don't think you have any problem. You have your job definitely secured for the future. You're doing an excellent job. But you will lose your job if you don't adapt to AI.
Okay, if I don't adapt to AI, okay? Thank you, Elton. So, Dr. Kiran, you come from an university which is, I have been there personally along with my team. It's very impressive university and the future vision what your team has. Do you think the universities can collaborate with the student community or the corporate community, or the corporate community connecting with you, collaborating, and help the society around to get upskill and adopt? What are your views and thoughts on that?
Thank you very much, Manuel. And you see, when we talk about technology, we should not see student as a part away from the society. It's actually not. A student is the core component and embedded into the society. That's where, from last couple of years, I would say, as the entire India and thereby the world through UN has been pushing SDGs into the academic society itself, which means it is essential that the student has to understand what are the problems of the society and thereby support for and contribute towards that. In the same direction, understanding society is one aspect, but to address those problems, it is essential. Technology is the only way and only means for that. Because the problems are such at a global scale. They are not small scale problems, they are not at around the corner over there. For that, technology such as AI is one of the key factor over there. Now the question is the student ready for that? Is a student from whom we are expecting a solution or a thought to be built, is he or she ready for that to understand and complete the particular case? On the same note, is the institutions who are been embracing the SDGs and thereby the student support are also ready to accept the technology, develop the technology, and most probably design the technology for that and provide a solution. And that is where there is a huge amount of struggle being happening on that. And organizations like us, especially, are the one now where we have a full autonomy at hand, are the one who are looking at supporting them, which means we have flexibility to make the student not only stay in the classroom, but go to the society for a significant amount of period of time, contribute, understand, explore. And the same direction, go to the company, corporate sector, work over there, explore the environment, explore the culture not only from what you know, but what the client wants, what the company wants, what the business wants. understand the entire ecosystem, and then make a decision on the technology, how it has to be worked or how it has to be used. And this is where the area like AI has to step in very greatly, because the way we speak that AI has been everywhere and so on and so forth, but is really AI everywhere? Is every company actually using the AI? Is every company actually reliant on the AI, that their intelligence has been subsiding and the machine intelligence has been increasing? No. That's actually a very plain veil that has been visible between a client and a company. Because the actual intelligence, what the AI talks about, is still in a grayscale. It's very much in shadows. And very slightest part of it has been visible to the society or to the outside community. And a student to contribute for that is a challenge. It's literally a challenge.
So do you think the universities can collaborate with the industry and do a research? What are your thoughts on that?
That is what we should be doing of. And that's the reason, organizations now, very recently, the Parliament of India also has opened a forum for every organization should have a university research cell, and every company should have a corporate research cell. So when these particular two cells meet together, then problems like this can be addressed over there. And that's where at Woxan University, we have established particular platforms, and that way we are collaborating with the university, with the corporates on a research platform itself, so that the student or the technological exposure to the community can be made available greatly.
Okay.
Great.
Right. Great. Thank you, Dr. Kiran. So now moving forward, we have Jansi with us from Micron Technology. One of my friend who is here, he was telling that, Micron Technology has been doing amazingly well. I would like to meet Jansi from one of your panelists. Then I was like, wow, good to know that Micron is doing so great.
So skill development is primary. It is very, very important for everyone, and for an organization which already has employees who've been hired for a particular skill and a work, and you have new disruptive technologies coming in, upgrading them is very, very important. So we kind of talk very frequently about reskilling, upskilling, and unlearning and all of these things. And these are just not jargons, but these are definitely useful for us. Until you do all these three things, it is not possible for us to kind of stay relevant for the employee and also for the organization. So specifically at Micron, you see a change in the trend. Now we do something called skill-based hiring. Now gone are those days where you look at your resume and say, hey, you're fit for it. But we look at the skills that are required from the candidate and what we are looking at. And I was reading an article, and then it says that companies are now doing a lot more investment in upgrading their employees, 69% more than what they used to do pre-COVID. So it only emphasizes the importance of upgrading or upskilling your talent pool. Because if you don't do these things, the difference or the gap between the demand and the need increases. And skill development is also very important for retention, right? Employees need to be staying in beat with what is happening. So if organizations are not doing it, the gap is automatically different. So, and learning happens in a couple of ways. One is formal, informal. Formal is you have your learning and development team, which will have a lot of schedules saying that, dear ABC, please do this, it is helpful and all of that stuff. But what is more important is how employees are also learning by themselves. Now, none of us need to know how we have to learn. There are tons and tons of online courses that we can all learn from. And you have certification courses, you have like 6 months courses, and short-term courses like Rohit, what you were saying. But there also another way of learning, that is informal learning, right? And this is very critical. I'm sure when 4 people come together, the learning that we have cumulatively is 75% more than when I'm put in a classroom session and say that, oh, please dear, learn all of this stuff. Right, and that's kind of, informal learning is very important, and informal learning also comes from your peer-to-peer learning and also your mentors. And I think we should never miss out these two very important things. Mentorship, which is very important because someone who's there already has a knowledge about things, and how do you capitalize on it. And there's another thing called power skills. Okay, we are always talking about technology, what are the new skills, but something very important is your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills. This can be useful in your personal life and also in your professional life. So not to forget on this power skills. So having a 360 degrees view about the learning at an individual level and at a corporate level will help the companies to stay in line with what's happening and upgrade their own talent pool.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jansi, for adding your comments on the continuous learning. So, moving on, there is a formal way of learning, and now there are disruption which is happening. There are so many ways where people can learn, right? So there is a question now to Vivek about formal and informal learning, how this has been evolving and how this is helping the organization today to adapt with the changes. So before Vivek, you take up that question, I would like to share something, right? Today, ChatGPT can be used, and I have seen one of the POC which our team has built. Using these generative AI tools, you can choose the module what you want to deliver using ChatGPT, for example. You can tell that these are my objectives which I would like to achieve from this training. Give me questions which I can give it to my students. So the ChatGPT, based on the objectives, what you define in the learning module, is helping the lecturer or the trainer with a set of questions which can be given to the students. Students can also use ChatGPT and answer the question, but that's where the crucial human intelligence and human interface is going to make a difference on evaluating the learner's knowledge. Giving this background, what do you think about formal, informal learnings? What has been happening in the organizations? Are they really scaling? Are they really ready for the disruption which is in future, which we are going to witness? Vivek.
Sure, thank you. I think we are at a very interesting stage. And when we talk about disruption from a work point of view or learning point of view, I know Gen AI is something which is used or abused more often than not these days as well. But even COVID pandemic had definitely disrupted our world. What used to be traditional learning, like a classroom training or a master class to learn a particular topic or a skill end-to-end, has now become micro-learning. And there is also much better scope for us to facilitate learning across the organization, irrespective of where the employees are located and what platforms they're working on. Talk about micro-learning, where videos of 30 minutes to 60 minutes can probably help you to learn the skill that is on the table for you to complete the task right now. Or on-the-job learning, or in-the-moment learning as well. When I'm working on a particular screen, I want to understand what are the certain steps that will help me to get through this. And there can be a 5-minute module which will help me to get through that screen. I don't need the entire story. So the traditional models have been definitely moved to agile models, where we'll be able to much better be in touch with the learner as and when required. Secondly, I think one of the biggest changes is also in terms of the technology that the AI has brought us. A lot of portals right now are assessing our skill based on the area that we are interested in and highlighting key areas that we should focus more on. Talk about presentation skills or business etiquette or any of the general aspects that we normally talk about. When I take an assessment, maybe there are 10, 20 topics that are really important, but I might not want to go through a learning module for all the 20 of them. It will point out top 2 or 3 and then say, if you are able to brush up on this, I think you are on par with the others as well. So formal models like that are definitely evolving, and I think it is definitely crucial for us to catch up with everything that's happening around us. Even the personalized learning paths. It's practically impossible for a learning team to cater to all the employees and then say, this is where you are, these are your aspirations, and therefore this is the path that would I recommend for you to stay relevant, for you to keep your job, or for you to keep our best as well. And that can change every day or every month for that matter. Now, with this AI technologies and portals are making it very easy for us to say, if you are able to pick a few skills, and if you are able to help us understand your direction in your career, there are much better options for you to continue to learn as well. So we are evolving. It's definitely important, but we'll continue to evolve, I believe. There isn't an end goal for that. As the technology catches up, as the requirements change, we'll continue to travel with that and enhance the learning within the organizations.
Okay. Thank you, Vivek, for adding those comments. So to the audience, how many of you have been hearing about buzzwords, right? I'm sure generative AI tools are there, but there's something more important before you talk about generative AI tools. Could be ChatGPT. Any engineering tool or knowledge which you need to have before Any answers from the audience? What is something which is very important for an engineer or a person to know before they talk about generative AI tools? One engineering knowledge is required. Can anyone tell me about it? Any answers? Sorry? NLP? Excellent. Okay. Can you all give a big round of applause for him? Yes. Natural language processing is required. NLP, and what else? Anyone heard about prompt engineering? Okay. Now, I saw many hands going up saying that you will have your job after 3 years. Now, please check for yourself if you have not heard about what is prompt engineering, how it is going to impact. It's something which is very important for all of us to learn. There are some online courses available. Please get a knowledge about it. It's going to be very helpful. Okay. Now, having said that, pulse from the audience, Elton, do you think our employees or ourselves, are we really paying attention to learn so that we can adopt with the changes which are coming in? What are your views?
Yeah, excellent question. And I think I'd like to refer to two of the reports I've been studying after I got this invitation.
Put the mic closer. Yeah.
So I've got these two reports that I've been referring to. One was a 2019 report by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And there they mentioned a very bold forecast. They said that, and this was done in 2019, and they said that within 15 to 20 years, there's going to be at least 14% of the world's jobs that are going to be taken away, and another 32% which is going to be transformed. Now, that's a really sobering number, because when you actually calculate the number, it's about 1 billion. And they did not even get into picture whether it was ChatGPT or generative AI that was coming into the picture. Now, AI and automation definitely has taken the world by storm. It's come like a speed race. Wow! The cars have just come in, and they're going really, really fast. And while they're going, they're automating a lot of stuff. They're doing really good stuff. I mean, it's easing out everything. We just spoke about, you just told us about how trainings have been made so easily. But while this is all happening, the skill force is not just watching it. They are also donning these superhero masks that are going out like pit crew. On a pit crew, if you notice, there are 20 people that are going out very well trained, and they know exactly what to do, right? Now, 68% of that 2019 report of that workforce since then have been like those pit crew. They've been upskilling, they've been reskilling, and they've been ensuring that there's strategic imperatives in place, and and organizations have been ensuring that employees are being reskilled. Now, while this is happening, you might wonder what is happening about that other 32% also. Why haven't they done anything about it? And there's a counter report, a review report by Harvard Business, and there they mentioned that these people, it's not that they don't want to, they want to, because after these kind of reports have come, and from morning we've been hearing jobs are going to be replaced and this is going to be done, they're scared. They're going to be scared about whether they're going to be having these jobs for themselves. But they may have finance problems, or they do not have time to their hands given by the organization. So it's really important that in this Grand Prix that has been arranged with AI and the pit crew all there, organizations need to ensure that there's continuous learning that is always going to be successful. I'd like to give one last example, and that's about my son. And I was just discussing it with one of the people here in the audience, and he's doing his third year mechanical engineering, and he took up this course on robotics. With IIT simultaneously, and this course is available for anybody free of cost. Okay, but if you want the certificate that's attached to it, you need to pay for it. So he paid for it, he got the certificate. But if a 19-year-old can do that, I think all of us should be getting to do that too. I mean, Gen Z is out there. They're ready to storm the world. Forget AI; they're going to take our jobs if this thing. And we need to collaborate and then blend together and be with them and ensure that we are learning simultaneously, because they're going to know lots more than us.
Okay, thank you, Elton. So, audience, friends, we are done with the first round of questions. You know what we all agreed? Whatever question you ask, we will tell the answer what we have come prepared. So, I'm sure you all learned something out of what our panel has, to share with you all. So how are we doing on time, Divya? We can carry on? Okay.
Should ask the crowd that.
Okay, then I have last question to all the panelists, the common question which I would like to hear, because we have the panelists from different industry and I would like to hear their answers. So before that, any question to the panelists who are sitting here from the audience? Anyone? Because from the morning I've seen there was no time given to the audience to ask a question, so I would like to ask any questions from the audience to this panel. Okay, thank you. I see 2 hands raised. Can someone please pass on the mic?
Check.
Hello, yeah. Hi, my name is Dinesh and I'm part of Pegasystems actually, and I'm part of the talent acquisition team.
Hope you are not reporting to your...
I'm part of the talent acquisition, he's part of the learning team.
No, I'm just kidding. You said Pegasystems, so maybe because your manager is here. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so we've been hearing about corporate universities have to work in together. There are COEs happening. But are we as corporates not bullish of actually ignoring what is happening at the university level and creating our COEs, and developing our own in-demand skills? We are already bullish about it, right? And that's why we continue going to the campus, hiring.
Right.
But eventually we train them on what we need actually, right?
Okay.
So in all the 3 discussions that we've heard, we haven't come to a conclusion as to what do we do about it actually.
Okay.
So
Great.
how are we going to develop basically is what I wanted
In
to
fact, that's the last question which everyone is going to answer. Thank you for asking that question. So the panelists, the next question which is already revealed by one of the audience here from Pegasystems. Okay, so the next question.
Yeah.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Azharuddin. Since morning we are hearing about how AI gonna impact institutions and education system and the corporate world.
Okay.
So I want to shift the gear and actually ask how it's gonna impact the end implementation, right? So end users are our customers, if I talk from a corporate perspective. So how it's gonna impact customer education,
Okay.
right? So yeah.
Sure. So
can you
who
share
would
some
like-
light on that? Yeah.
How AI is going to impact the customer education?
Because after doing all of this,
Right, you need to educate the customers, right?
educate
How
the
are you going to educate the customers? Is that your question?
Right.
Okay, so who would like to take the question? The bravest one, okay? Rohit and then Vivek.
So you're talking about educating the customers, right?
Yes.
So basically, you want to say that when there are more applications where UIs are AI-based, how customers are going to.
Right.
I'll give you an example. We all are using mobile phones, right? Maybe someone is using an iPhone, someone must be using some small phone, which is not a smartphone, right? To any phone, if you go to village today, right? When a farmer has a phone, right, they see the green button, they see the red button, right? When the phones came, it was not really easy for the phone industry to educate farmers or villagers to explain how are you going to use the phone. They are still using the smartphones, by the way, in village these days. They might not be educated or literate, but they are still using the smartphone because they thought, as per the customer, what could be the way, the visual way of it, how human people think about it. So I think this is one of the case that I want to share with you, where we have made a customer which is not literate and educated towards the rural area of the industry, and they are still using a smartphone, using certain symbolism in certain ways in a product. I think this is how this is going to be the future as well.
Rohit, you mean to say the user experience, whatever product you develop, right?
Exactly.
Unless the UX is more convenient,
Exactly.
you can't educate. The UX has to be far better. So
Exactly.
Vivek, you said you want to, Kiran, you... but we have very less time. Your answers
of
has to be
course.
crisp.
In this case, he's been concerned, or in this similar kind of cases, there is no role of AI over here. When it comes to customer, how the customer want to see what is been exactly required is the only thing that we need to understand. If it is can be replaced by a much meager technology, has been there, much better. There is no need of complicating the technology and thereby complicating the solution, make it much worse and so on and so forth. That is of no use.
Okay.
So whatever works out there, that's better. And now coming to the question raised by Dinesh from Pegasystems.
Yes,
right?
Pegasystems,
right? I always wonder about the same question, like why companies do this? Why companies always come and establish so-called COEs in institutions and everything up, and from that, what do we get? When the company establishes particular COEs, the objective is used to be very great, but the outcome is not such great. And the outcome is also not fit for the same company as well. So if that is the case, why they do that one off? Unless the company does not see this particular opportunity beyond the business model, but as a talent development model, it will not be able to change. And that is where now the universities are now moving, because the COE model which has been companies has got into the university are now going to be reversed.
Okay.
Organizations are looking for COEs to be established by the companies with their own requirement,
So
with
for
their
branding,
own objectives.
You mean for branding and marketing?
No. It's not about
No, I'm
marketing.
just kidding. Yeah.
It's more about because the outcome has to fit for the requirement
Right.
or demand of the market.
Absolutely.
If the fitment is been not there, I'll tell you a small case. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes these copyright issues comes up, and we open a dialogue in the public forum. Companies such as TCS, Infosys usually come up with establishment of COEs with various organizations and everything of. Does the company hire the person from the same COE to their own organization?
Okay.
When they come up with question marks like, no, we bring only from primary institutions of India. If that is the case, why you are establishing here first of all?
Okay.
What is the use of it? So that should not be the case. We need to see, as a academic institution, I feel like all the academic institutions echo with me in this particular case. If a company is coming forward to really support us, we really want that particular support where the outcome can be actually valued.
Yeah. Utilized.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the company brand name should be, progressed into the mindset of the students.
Great. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Kiran.
very
I think
much.
we are running out of time, so I already see 3 people standing behind. So I saw Shesh raising the hand. You have the question. Maybe we can take it. You want to talk quickly? Okay, so while Shesh gets the mic to ask the question, okay, he has the mic. So I would like to ask our colleagues, right, Sagar and Jansi, to talk about the question which just Kiran answered. What should be the skills agenda? And what are the companies needs to develop and have it ready so that our audience can have those as a takeaways, right? So Sagar and Jansi, I would like to hear your views.
Yeah, I think one thing I just want to answer the question that we got from Pegasystems was, the gap between what the companies are expecting and at the colleges, right? Of my campus experience for the multiple years, right? Every year I go to campus, there's a new skill. That's the buzzword. Everyone, first year it was IoT, then it was quantum physics, then it was AI. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. It keeps changing. And, we all know how profiles are with a lot of buzzwords. But when you really get to the depth of it, we really, really see that there is so much of vacuum between what is put in versus what they think versus what companies need.
Yeah.
So, skills don't move as fast, right? Each batch cannot have an aspiration of, quantum physics to IoT to AI, right? So I think it's going to be a long-term thing. It will not be magical year on year where companies versus what students want will be changing. And that's when students do these programs, it's okay you do one program, but you do it to the depth that you are the best in the program, right? And that's when, this gap kind of, really fills in. And this connects to the question that you have also asked on, how we kind of, do this, skill gap and how do companies do. Yes, companies do want talent pool which is ready and, available to work as of yesterday before they were hired. But if the students don't make that effort of learning, the skills that they want, again you get to the same rhythm of training them after they come into the system. And again, once you're in the company, you have your modules to learn by, and you will never be at a point of an evolved situation because the skills are changing so fast. By the time you feel that you're at a matured position, you have another skill that you have to really tap up on, bring your whole talent pool to be ready again. So I think it's going to be like a two-way street where we, the talent has to be upskilled with the new technologies that are there, and also find the need, right? What a particular company needs is not something the other company needs, because the skills are so variant. Until the students are clear on what they want to achieve and where they want to see, this continues to be like, in like a Tom and Jerry thing that you kind of keep trying to catch up with things.
Okay. So Sagar, can you please add your views on what are the skills agenda needs to be ready? Let's say from a company like maybe My Anatomy, what is that they should be ready with so that they can help the whoever or the learners?
Great question, and Jhansi, completely agree with you. Now, just before I get to that answer, one quick thing around some of the questions that have been asked around the impact of AI on the jobs, and what Elton was talking about, that not staying relevant would result in losing jobs. But I think the answer to the question that you have asked is actually a two-part thing. One is we have not spoken about what is the impact of AI going to be on the jobs. So for that, one quick context, like in 1900s when Henry Ford bought in the assembly line. Before introduction of assembly line, it took around 12 man days to develop one car. And after introduction of assembly line, the same car was being developed within 8 hours, within 1 man day. What this resulted in is that within a decade, the number of employees in Ford increased from 14,000 to 54,000. The cost of the car came down from $925 to $325, which meant a lot of people started buying cars, as a result of which they had to put in roads, and the entire ecosystem grew along with it. Now we are exactly at the same cusp with AI. What happened then with the introduction of assembly line, with the process efficiencies and the innovation that came in, exploded, and it made cars affordable. Technology is also undergoing the same thing. Technology is going to become affordable. It is going to come out sooner. It is going to come out matured. As a result of which, there is going to be a lot of demand for workforce. Now for this, what are the skills that you will need, or what companies like My Autonomy should be looking at in terms of presenting? Now what is currently lacking is, at this point in time, you have very good predictive analytics or very good predictive AI which tells you this is what's going to happen, or it will generate a snippet of text saying this is what it is. But nothing tells how are you going to implement it, or what is the action that needs to take. So the next skills that you will need to develop are something around applied AI. The other would be around, we need second generational level of computing, which would be quant. And then the other part that really will make an impact is, right now we have different students across, some are interested in art, some are interested in marketing, some are interested in technical writing, instructional designing, development, and everything. So while you have a structured kind of learning which will tell you, hey, this is step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, nothing there tells you how are you going to leverage AI. So the next set of skills or next set of courses that need to come out need to factor in this. For example, if I'm going to train an instructional designer, I'm going to say, step 1, open ChatGPT, prompt in like this, you'd get text like this. Now this is how you edit it. I don't go about telling them how to think. I go about telling them how they can take the content and build and work from there.
Okay. Right. I think we are running out of time. So thank you so much, fellow panelists, for adding all your views. I would like to appreciate everyone for one reason. I have not seen anyone moving away from this audience, which means we have engaged them. So thank you very much for staying with us and listening to the views what our expert panelists. So one gentleman is not putting his hand down even after we said thank you. Looks like he has an amazing question. Maybe that's the only question we will take, because I have 3 people standing here next to me saying that we are time up.
No, we didn't say such things.
No, you are not telling it. You are just standing behind us.
That's body language reading.
Okay, maybe the last question, please.
But all our panelists are such a sport. Thank you so much.
Okay, so can we take that question?
Yeah, we'll take the question, please, the young man.
Hello, I'm Prashant. So my question is simple. How do you, as experts in technology, Wow, I forgot my question.
Oh, you
Wait.
forgot your question?
Keep up with the change in technology, and how do I, as a student, keep up with the change in technology?
Oh, then we have to tell what we did the last 45 minutes. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. So, Vivek, you would like to take it?
Hi, Prashant. I would like to take a dig at that. I think technology will continue to change, and what we need to focus on our ability to learn. Learn to learn, and whatever the context is, we will be able to adapt. As they always say, change is inevitable. Continuous learning is the only thing which will help us to keep up as well as adapt to that change. So the curiosity that you nurture and the ability for you to learn anything that comes your way, I think is going to keep us evergreen.
So behavioral change is what is required, I can say, at this point in time. We have to unlearn whatever you have learned till now. There are new things which has come up. Just focus on it, learn, and move on.
And I'd say that, Prashant, you've done the first step. You're here right now. You've got stalwarts in the room, but
Yeah.
you're with all of them learning. So you're very much a part of all of us. And we're going to be learning from you very soon, and you can learn from all of us.
So you have already one step ahead in your learning journey. Congratulations and all the best. Thank you.
In the
Thank you,
end, I
Abhishek.
would say it was a cute question.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone. Over to you.
Thank you, sir.